Sam Mostyn, you've joined us on stage. Now, you're in what the title of your stream again? Sorry. Climate Sustainability. That's it. Now, do you have optimism for the future?
I felt particularly optimistic today, walking through the House of Parliament and seeing Australians wandering the corridors. Thousands of people wandering the corridors here has just been amazingly inspiring in itself.
It absolutely has. Now what idea did you bring to the table today?
Well, my idea probably links into Greg Bourne's comments about the scale of the climate change that we're facing. And I think that at moments like this, we have to stop thinking of ourselves as a country that's so dependent on natural resources that are in the ground and think about being a resourceful nation that actually stops wasting things, wasting time, wasting resources, wasting human capital, and do all of that whilst protecting the most vulnerable in our communities so they come with us and we all change our behaviour together.
Yeah, it's interesting because one of the themes that I've spoken to a number of people across different streams, and one of the themes was that what used to be considered a weakness with Australia, in that we're far away and there's not that many of us, is actually a strength because we tend to get on pretty well with each other and all that sort of stuff. And you know what I mean? You can speak and people will hear.
And one of the main presentations this morning that I was really moved by was the fact that we haven't been facing challenges for 200 years in this country. It's been 60,000 years or more, and we have so much to learn from people who were here prior to our first fleet arriving, who actually can help us on the climate change debate, and we'll learn about reconciliation issues along the way with respect.
Thank you, Sam Mostyn. What's the blue stream? Tim Goodwin.
Hi, how you going?
Indigenous Australia.
That's right.
So Rachel's already sort of spoken about some Indigenous issues. What was the Indigenous issue that you wanted to bring to the table?
I think the main thing that I really wanted to bring to the table was the fact that we should really think big about the future of Australia. That when we talk about options for the future of Indigenous Australia, we're talking about our entire country. It was really interesting that our Prime Minister was congratulated overseas by many distinguished foreign leaders for his apology to the stolen generations. That in fact, when we talk about the future for Indigenous Australia, we're talking about all of our futures. And so we really need to get the relationship between Indigenous Australia and non-Indigenous Australia right. And we need to look at the foundations of the relationship to make sure that we can move forward in a really great way. So I suppose the big idea I was really bringing is some form of national document or national settlement or agreement. Many people call it a treaty, but whatever it may be, that we get the content substantially right, and that content needs to go to the heart of where the Indigenous spirit and culture of this country is placed in the Australian story, and really making sure that it becomes a central part of all of our identity as Australians.
Great, thank you very much, Tim. Terry Underwood.
Hello, everyone.
And your stream is?
The future of rural and regional communities and industries.
There it is. So what are some of the challenges facing rural Australia at the moment?
Well, there are many. I live in probably one of the most remote parts of Australia on the headwaters of the Victoria River, and I had a 10-hour drive to Darwin to get the red-eye to Sydney and Canberra. And having been there for over 4 decades, we face many challenges. We want to reverse the population drift. We want to revitalise the bush and populate the inland. We can see all kinds of possibilities. We worked really hard today with 99 other very passionate and very wise people who also want to revitalise the bush. And we're on stream. A lot's going to come out of this summit, I'm sure.
That's fantastic. And so was there anything that you learnt today in your stream where you changed your mind, or anything that you heard that you went, oh, I hadn't realised that?
No, more so the delight at the commonalities we all share, regardless of where exactly we are based and what we're producing, how we all share the same vision for the future. One little funny thing, I said this morning that I was 5 weeks in the saddle getting to Canberra, and then someone at morning tea said, where'd you tie your horse up?
Very nice. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Pleasure.
Miriam Lyons.
Hello.
So I'm guessing that you're in the economic stream.
No, I'm in governance, almost as
Governance.
dry, but not quite.
Yes.
So we've actually got the job of figuring out how all of the awesome ideas that come out of other people's streams will actually happen and happen well.
And so the jury system's in safe hands? Yeah.
We actually got split up into 4 different streams, and I was in open government and the media, and our group was half full of journos, so we took an even longer lunch break than the productivity dudes. But it's been really exciting. I think one of the big ideas that came out of today for me was actually in some ways sparked by something John Faulkner said at the start, where he was talking about the cycle of distrust between the media and government, and how government's worried that the media is going to be sensationalist in reporting the tiniest little mistake, so they try and keep all the information really close to their heart, and that makes the media a little bit suspicious that, you know, what is it that they're trying to hide, and that actually feeds each other. So I think the thing that really came out of that for me today is that where you have that kind of cycle of mistrust, it takes one party to actually be brave and actually say, well, we're actually going to prove that we have nothing to hide. So we want the strongest possible protection for citizens' right to access information about what governments are doing. But more than that, not just, you know, freedom of information laws, which, you know, should actually be the last resort, but an active culture of government disclosing as much information as possible. So FOI as the last resort, and a really active culture, particularly online, of making as much government information and data, particularly about how well policies are actually working, available online so that everybody can access it.
And I presume you were discussing a Bill of Rights too, is that correct?
Yep, Bill of Rights, Republic. They basically just got big ticks, really. And also rewriting the Australian Constitution. That'll be easy.
Right. Okay, Miriam Lyons, thank you very much.
Big items, and that's where we have to leave day 1 of 2020. A day devoted more to the broad outlines rather than the fine detail. Yet from the moment the summit was officially opened, there has been a sense of excitement, of possibility, of potential. That will be realised or not tomorrow when the 30 best ideas from the 10 groups will be presented to the Prime Minister and the nation. We'll be there for the conclusions at 1:30 on both ABC 1 and 2, and we'll be on air on ABC 2 from 8:55 tomorrow morning, covering the whole day. Until then, I'm Philip Williams. Keep the good ideas coming. Goodbye.
ABC2 presents coverage of the 2008 Lone Pine service from Gallipoli. Anzac Day, Friday night at 6:30. 2 outstanding productions are about to collide.
This is the meeting point of 2 mighty processes. The making of a magnificent opera house and the production of the massive Wagnerian classic.
4 works, 4 directors, 15 hours of opera, all to be performed in a brand new building.
What if the building's not ready? What's going to happen?
Raising Valhalla, tomorrow night on your digital network, ABC2.
Sometimes rules are there to be broken.
Us 3 are accessories after the fact.
Series 4 of New Tricks out now on DVD.
We are still functioning in the same smooth, unruffled way we always have.
And still happily solving crimes.
Turn that frown upside down.
So, the question is...
Did she jump or was she pushed?
Series 4 of New Tricks.
Let's get this right.
On DVD from ABC shops, ABC centres, leading retailers and online.
Welcome to a cornucopia of clutter.
Let the scavenging begin.
Where 2 teams enter.
That is so cool.
But only one team wins. Tough and twisted tests that would make a grown botcher shut up.
Vicious, agile, fighting car.
It's Scraptastic.
Cool, baby.
Tonight, 6:35 on ABC2. Take the Scrap Heap Challenge.